Hi again, it's Dan Barrett. We're just doing a buyer beware series, but in this case, I just wanted to take a moment away. And I have Peter Martins with me, good friend for many years. And what I wanted to talk about is Peter at what were you, 18 when you went over?
18. I went over, about 18 and a half.
At 18 years old, this guy was flying Lancasters for the Air Force. And I just want to talk about it for Remembrance Day. People remember what these guys did, and he's a real guy. So I want to, Peter, if you could just talk about some of the things. When you went over, you were how old?
I know I turned 19 when I got there. Yeah.
And you mainly flew Lancasters,
Oh yeah.
and you talked about that the Lancaster. There was about 430 Lancasters built in Toronto,
In
Ontario?
Vickers in Malton, Ontario. Yeah.
Walton, Ontario,
Yeah.
and you would ferry those planes over to England.
That's right.
Yeah.
We ferry them about 3-4 at a time.
I know we've talked in the past about some of the missions that when you flew in England, that there would be how many thousand Lancasters or how many
Well,
planes?
there were 8,000 built
Yeah,
Lancasters, and of those, about 4,000 were lost during the war,
Yeah.
and they're just scrapped.
and I remember you talking about some of the missions, and I remember one that you talked about where, because you were a captain, and
Well, flight, I wasn't a captain, that's a rank.
Okay.
I was a fellow officer.
okay,
Yeah.
and so you said how many young men would have died from Canada?
I'm not
being
sure
in
from
the-
Canada, but the RAF, that's the British
Okay.
Air Force, and RCAF together, lost about 59,000.
59,000
Yep.
young guys.
Yep.
That, I remember you talking about one mission where there was, I don't know if I got this right, was there 1,000 or you came from different bases in
Okay,
England?
that was the one of the largest combined efforts made during the Bomber Command, and that was on Christmas Eve in 1944. They had 3,500 bombers in the air.
And you flew from different bases in England?
Oh, yes, probably 25 or so bases. They would meet, you see. And they didn't all go to the same place.
Yeah.
They went all over Europe and to different parts of Germany. They all the way from Berlin all the way to north to Peenemünde. Peenemünde was a very heavily defended base right in the north, near the North Sea. That was where Hitler had his V1 bombs, the self-propelled ones,
Yeah.
That's where they had the factories, and they were underground.
So you would bomb those?
And we were trying to bomb those things. We had a hard time with it because they were all underground.
Yeah.
But I imagine we damaged them. The runways were up on top,
Yeah.
And they called V1s. Remember those?
Yeah,
Well,
yeah.
You probably never saw one, but you were reading about them.
I saw the base of one
Yeah.
in New Mexico, at a
Okay.
missile base. And I think that the hard part for people today is realizing the sacrifice that you gave to us.
The boys had to die. That's right.
And you
They never
lost
lived.
gunners, you lost lots of damage to the plane.
Well, a Lancaster had a crew of 7, and if it got shot down, the chances were about 1 in 100 that you would live. What happens to an airplane when it gets shot down, it loses a part of its either a wing or a tail. And what happens? It immediately spins. You can't get out.
You can't get out, yeah.
The centrifugal force keeps you in there, and there's no way you can get out.
So how many missions, like I remember years ago, you and I talking about, missions where, the tail gunner would just be gone, or the bottom gunner. They would
You
usually
mean
attack.
how many missions?
Well, how many missions would I say a rear gunner?
Oh, rear gunners tailed off was, I think, about 21% or something.
Yeah.
He's the first guy to go because when a fighter plane comes from back and he shoots him first, you see.
Yeah.
Now, that doesn't necessarily mean the plane's going to go down.
Right.
But he's dead man.
Yeah.
And rear gunners have a very high mortality rate.
And so would you come back from a mission and all of a sudden you'd realize your rear gunner's gone?
Well, yes, you knew that a long time. He quit talking. You're intercom, you see. And when he quits talking, you know something's wrong.
Yeah.
And they got shot up pretty bad. The Messerschmitt, the 109, was a fantastic airplane. They had a cannon, a 21 millimeter cannon.
Yeah.
And they got a blast into a rear gunner and they just blew the body up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so, you know, I guess from my standpoint, it's hard to even imagine, you know, at 18 or 19
Yeah.
years old, being in this thing, and you know,
Largely, the reason that is true, that the young fellas, older boy won't do it.
yeah,
Young fellas have all the grit, you know,
Yeah.
and I'm not afraid.
Yeah.
Once they got to be past 25, they weren't very daring anymore.
Yeah.
And they weren't nearly as active in the air because they're starting to look after you, number one, you see.
Yeah.
But a kid, it's like kids on the roads and highway today,
Yeah.
on a street, on a bike and on a car. They see no danger.
yeah,
Big difference. And that's why they need young fellas.
yeah.
Yeah.
That's why we needed you.
See, old guys like you don't want to get hurt.
Yeah, I guess I'm an old guy.
There you go.
Yeah, I mean, I just want to. I guess I want people to remember this. I want people
See,
to remember.
we had some older fellas. We got fellas 27, 28 that had been in a long time from the start of the war. They were our commanding officers. A lot of them were ground crew, of course. They were in the office buildings.
Yeah,
We had a few flyers,
yeah.
but not too many of the older fellows.
Well, thank you.
That's what. Thank you. It was a job we had to do. Somebody had to do it,
Yeah.
and we didn't know better, I suppose.
Well,
We thought that we had to be the ones to do it.
yeah.
Yeah.
So remember this.
Yeah.
Remember this. Don't. If you see a veteran, or you see someone that you know has given so that you have freedom.
In World War One, my dad was in World War One,
Yeah.
and he was 18, and his job. Those days they didn't have airplanes, or very few, but they drove horses pulling cannon. See, you had no tractors in those days, you know.
Yeah.
And they had boys, too young to go into the battlefield. They had to drive their horses. And they had 6 horses on a cannon, and so that's how they operated World
Yeah.
War One. One of those comments I never got my dad made is, you know, he says the worst thing about all that was to hear a horse scream. He said a horse is an innocent animal. When they got wounded, they screamed. He said, you can handle a man's scream, but a horse scream, he said, I've never forgot it.
Hmm.
They get wounded, you know.
Yeah.
In our job, we didn't lose too many airplanes in ferry. It was a ferry command, but we had to fly them across the ocean. And that was an 11-hour trip, you know, a long way, and there was a lot of water down there. But we never lost one. We'd lose an engine, this sort of thing, but we never lost. They were very well built. They were the deluxe of bombers, deluxe airplanes. They came out in about 43. They were brand new, beautiful.
You talked. I remember years ago. You talked about the German pilots.
Yeah.
And how good they were.
They were good flyers, those boys. They were well trained and very gentlemanly. There's a story about one. I have the book of it. He wrote a story about a German pilot. They shot down a bunch of American B-17s, and then one of them got all banged up and shot up badly, but was still flying, and they're trying to get back to England. And he shepherded it all the way back across the English Channel.
Really?
He wrote the book himself. He says, had my commanding officer seen this, he said, I would have been executed. Because he says, oh, I was supposed to help the opposition, you know.
Yeah.
But I've got the book. I met him. I met him in Arizona.
Really?
Yeah. He's probably dead now, but he was a German pilot. There are a lot of these things that happen that people don't know about. I've seen pilots fly by and salute you when they went by. German pilots, you know. It wasn't a personal thing.
Mm-hmm.
It was a job, you know.
It's a job.
And you respected the other. You respected the enemy foe, you see.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, Peter, thank you for taking the time with us today.
Well, thank you for this invitation. I don't mind saying a few things about these things. They happened. I hope they never happen again.
True enough.
Yeah.